Now we're going to look at a really great butterfly guard pass. One of my biggest pet peeves in butterfly guard is when people get lazy and they lay their head on the shoulder. That's very common. I see that a lot, specifically for the overhook sweep, which is the most common sweep for butterfly guard. So what we're going to look at is stuffing that head into the armpit. All right? Two very important things. The hardest part, getting head in the armpit. Number two is making sure that you keep your base and your chest on their upper shoulders. Some people say that this feels a little bit like a neck crank, and if you're doing it as a neck crank, you're not doing it correctly. We want domination over of the upper body, and so what we're going to do is make sure that we're across the shoulders, not on the top of the back of the head. If you're not flexible in the neck, it might feel a little uncomfortable, but it should not be a crank. All right, so here I am in butterfly guard, the same principles of the previous videos that I've showed. Of course, when I get in here, I want to make sure to pinch my knees. Pinching my knees unbows his legs and cuts off his hip movement. Not off, but slows him down. From here, of course, I would want inside head control, or he would want inside head control, and this works as well in there, but it works really well when they put their head off here and they're trying to get underneath. You can see that I've got my bottom back, and I'm trying to keep my back straight. My pelvis is tilted forward. I'm trying to keep as much balance as I have from here. Now, I do want to stuff this head into my armpit. What you're going to find is that this works really well when you change paces on them. If you go right for it and you're really trying to stuff it, it might be difficult. What I do is I check my base first, and then I'll come up into this position. When I feel that his neck isn't tense is when I'm going to pop up on my feet just a little bit to make space, and I'm going to put his head inside my armpit. So here, you can either pop to your feet, or you can extend the trunk of your body right there. Once we get in here, we're in good shape. My hand is going to go to the floor. You can see that it is on the inside of his leg, not on the outside. I want to be able to bind his body up. Now he still has arms. I need to be able to clear his arms. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kick my feet back. I'm going to keep heavy on his upper body. You can see that my chest is on his upper shoulder and back, not out here on his head. If you do that, he may be able to dip his head out. That's not what we want. Nice and heavy, hand on the floor. You can see my fingers are oriented out, and my spare hand is going to control on the inside of this arm. That's so I can walk around. You'll see it again in another second. So as I walk around and I cut that space, I'm going to bring my pelvis in, and I'm going to bring that arm in. You may feel like your arm is binding a little bit over here, and I've had some people try to arm bar me from here. It hasn't happened. I have too much control over moving my arm and the orientation of my elbow for him to really get anything with that. It is important to leave it in there until I get to the back so that he can't try to spin out or come back into the game. I do like to replace, and you can see that I do not go to my knees. My knees pinch at the hips, and I stay nice and tight. Controlling, remember I'm pinching those knees, my bottom is back, my back is semi-straight. Hand to the back of the head, wait until I don't feel anything tense, right? Boom, I extend my body up at the same time as I put the head in. That's the hard part. If I get to this, high percentage pass, guys. Hand to the floor, keeping good pressure off of my knees. Good pressure forward on his upper back, not so much his head. Thumb into the elbow, again, you'll see it in a second. I walk, boom, nice and tight control. I'm keeping him folded up. So here I am, right? Squeezing those knees, bottom low, catching my base. Hand to the back of the head, extend my body. His head goes into my armpit. Remember, my hand goes over his arm, under his leg. From here, I'm going to come up off of my knees, good pressure forward right here, and control. If he's reaching out trying to catch your legs and stop you, it'll be nice and easy, okay? Walk, replace that hook, nice and tight right in here. If you want to start working into your seatbelt, step over for crucifix, pull them back into north-south, all of those things work really well. Good control, remember, always squeezing those knees. Stuffing that head, boom, hand to the floor. All the way up, nice and tight. I like to keep tight with my chin as well. Tucking that arm. Walk, replace those hands, squeezing. You can see that my body is tilted forward. I don't want him to push back into me. It's not bad if he pushes back into me. I can transition into the back or something, but I have a lot more options from that position where I'm pushing him forward and not allowing him to push me back.